and know your requirements and know more and have an introduction of your requirements. Well, today we're going to share about the progress of the equipment and some backgrounds, some raw materials and the products that we can get. Well, it's very normal to see this kind of raw materials, this kind of lithium battery in our daily life. Well, just like this word shows us, most of the lithium battery can use this kind of equipment to recycle the metals and other products. For example, I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. For example, the power lithium battery. Okay, just like this, the power lithium battery or the hard shell lithium battery, the mobile lithium battery, plastic shell lithium battery, soft lithium battery, aluminium shell lithium battery, well, this kind of normal batteries that we can recycle, or the positive of the lithium battery or negative inside. We can just recycle it and get other products like for example, like the copper and the negative powder. This is, well, the raw materials. And the final products that we can get shows here. Here it is, the final products. Well, the main products is the copper and the aluminium, this kind of metals we can get. And we can also get the cobalt oxide lithium or the graphite from the graphite powder from the positive and negative materials. Well, the proportion of the raw material in the lithium battery is maybe account for 20 to 25% is the positive battery, and there are maybe 5 or to 12% is the negative materials. And for the positive material, we can get the lithium, aluminium, and the lithium positive powder from the positive material. And for the negative materials, we can get the copper, get the negative powder, and this is well, just like the copper, it is occupied like 22% in the raw materials, and the aluminium, the metal we can get is 12%. Well, this is the proportion of the raw materials, and we can also get electrolyte from the is in the raw materials, and there are diaphragm and the outmost shell is in this lithium battery. Well, the outmost shell account for 5 to 15%, and the diaphragm account for 25 to 30%. And as for the electrolyte is 15 to 20%. We need this dry system to evaporate the electrolyte. Well, later I will show you how to have this kind of equipment. Well, this is the raw materials and the products we can get. Here is the working process. If you can't see it clearly, you can type and I will show you more clearly about this outlet. Outlet I will show you later. Well, about this kind of equipment we have, we can not only recover the valuable metals from it, because there are some contained metals like the copper, aluminium, or the cobalt, nickel, or lithium from it. We can achieve a source recycling, and it's also environmental friendly because we all know the lithium battery contains some harmful substance. So we can have this kind of equipment for this significance. And about this kind of business, you may have a question: is there any pollution when we have this kind of equipment? Well, the answer is no. Later I will show you some purification system to purify the bad smoke and the dust from when we have this production. Okay, and this is the brief products that show us. The first, we have the scrap lithium battery here. You can see here the scrap lithium battery, and then we have to first discharge the electricity from the lithium battery for first step. We need to soak it into the solution and to soak for 48 hours so that the positive and negative terminal of the battery are short-circuited. Then we can have other pollution at a safety environment. Well, this is the first discharge system. And then is the shredder. Here is a shredder. The shredder we have is the double shaft shredder to process the raw materials, process the lithium battery to 3 to 5 centimeters. And this is the first step, a pre-process state. Then is carbonization. We first need to dry, or we can call the carbonization system by using this carbide furnace. This is a carbide furnace. Later I will show you. Well, this kind of equipment use the electric heating or use the gas heating, and the heating temperature is from 100 to 550 degree. Well, the electrolyte in this battery, well, we have nearly 10 or 50 to 20 lithium electrolyte in this kind of raw materials. So we need to first evaporate it. Then we can have this others, the step, the crash and the separate system. So well, about this carbonization system, if your capacity is small, like smaller than 500 kilogram per hour, well, it's not necessary for you to have this kind of equipment. But if you have a larger capacity, for example, 1 ton per hour or 2 ton per hour, or the larger capacity, then you can have this. This is the carbonization system. It's called carbide furnace. Well, in this system, because we have the heating system, so there are some smoke that will release. Then we have the dust and glass cleaning system. Here is the cleaning system. This is the 3-step of the smoke removal system. Well, this system will purify some bad smoke like the hydrogen sulfide in it. Well, it has the high absorption efficiency and wide application range and easy maintenance. So it can reach to different standards. Well, we know in different provinces in China or different regions abroad, we have different policy about this purification system. And we can reach to different regions. We can give you some plan, some program to reach to your standard about this pollutions release. Well, this is the carbonization system to evaporate the electrolyte in a lithium battery. And then we get the plastic, we get the particle to the first crusher. This is the first step. We have this hammer crusher to crush it to less than 10 million meters, the small particles. Well, this is the hammer blade crusher. Welcome to our live show. This hammer blade crusher with a high speed rotation of the hammer blades in the crushing chamber, so it can make the material to crush to 110 millimeter. This is the first step. Hi, see you again. Nice to meet you. And you want the catalog? Okay, we will send you privately. thank you for watching today. How's your day? Okay, and let's go on. Well, this is the first crusher, and it have the blades and a screen in it. So this kind of two part is the spare parts. So we need to change frequently according to the machine running time. Well, this is the first step. And then we come to here. This is the first rotary screen. A rotary screen is the first separation to separate the black powder from the particles. Well, in this step, after separation, there will about 60% of the black powder will be separated. This is the first powder, first separator. And then we will come to the magnetic separator. Here is the magnetic separator. Will separate the iron from the raw materials, because we know the iron is much more cheaper than the copper and aluminium or other value metals. So we need to separate it to prevent its influence about the profits that we sold from the raw material. And this is the first magnetic separator. And then we will get the copper, So then the particles that is 10 millimeter now will go to this liner vibrating screen. Well, the liner vibrating screen uses the vibration for screening and controls different products through these multi-layer screen mesh, which are discharged from the respective outlets. So there are two layers of the screen, and one is 2 millimeter and one is 100 mesh to control different particles. While the first layer of the screen is a diaphragm, the middle is the copper, the aluminium, and the black powder, and the bottom layer is a black powder. So from now, in this step, we can collect the diaphragm. The recovery is about 98%. So now in this step, just we recycle this diagram. And this is the first step. Then we have this particle of the copper, black powder, and the aluminium to the second hammer crusher. And then the second hammer crusher blade is a kind of impact crusher by the high-speed rotation of the hammer blade in the crushing chamber to crush the metals under 6 millimeter. Well, it's come to 6 millimeter. Then we will go to the secondary rotary screen. The secondary rotary screen from here, which will it will separate the black powder, and the recovery can reach to 95%. Well, this is the second rotary screen. Well, the raw material will through the 120 mesh screen, surface rolling a rotary screen. So it will control the sizes and the qualified material, just the black powder will discharge. This is the secondary rotary screen. And from here, just we said 95% of the black powder will separate it, and then it will come to the grinder. This is the grinder. Well, the grinder will grind the raw materials, mostly the copper and aluminium, as a granular shape. Well, this is the to more just standard particles size. Then it will come to the additive vibrating screen. Here is the additive vibrating screen will collect most of the black powder. Well, now the additive vibrating screen is a high precision screening machine with low noise, high efficiency, and wholesaling structure. So it's applicable to safe granular powdery materials. So the recycling rate of the black powder is about 99% in this process. So just like when we come to here, when the material come here, most of the black powder are collected, and then is the remained material is the copper and aluminium. Well, they are mixed, so we need to separate it by using the air separator. Here is the air separator to separate the copper and the aluminium outside. Well, this is the air gravity separator. It used the combined action of the airflow and the vibrating friction on the material. So the large copper particles will settle in the bottom, and the smaller aluminium particles are suspended on the surface of the raw material layer by the action of the airflow. So by this link, the recovery rate of the copper and aluminium is about 98%. Here is the whole process of the lithium battery recycling machine. Well, if you don't have the carbonization system, then we don't have this smoke pollution. The only pollution that we have is the dust release. Then we have this cyclone dust collector and post dust collector to collect. When we use the cyclone dust collector to collect the large particles and the post dust collector to collect the smaller pieces. This is two kinds of the dust collector to ensure we have this kind of production in non-pollution environment. Here's the word introduction. You can have a look. More brief introduction. To know it directly, I can see it clearly. I can read for you. Here, the first discharge system. While the discharge system, we can put the scrap batteries into 8 to 15% of the solution for 48 hours to let the battery discharge completely. This is the first step. And this is a shredder. Then the raw material will come to the shredder. Shredder will break the bricks to smaller particles. It's 3 to 5 centimeters, this size. And then the carbonization system will evaporate the electrolyte in the lithium battery, while the electrolyte accounts for 15 to 20%. This is the furnace which will heat by the electricity or heat by the heating the fire to reach to the temperature of 100 to 450 degrees by the, you can see, gas or electricity. To make the liquid, just mean the electrolyte to volatilize. This is a carbonization system. And then it shows us is the gas and the smoke removal system. By using 3 kinds of device, we can ensure there are no pollution of the air and human body when we release the smoke. Here is the name of the 3 devices. The spraying tower, activate carbon system, and UV photooxygen catalytic. This is the purification system. One of the purification when we have the carbonization system with the smoke release, and other purification system is to purify the dust. Later I will show you. Here, this is to remove the dust. When we crush and separate the powder in it, we will have some dust to collect it by the cyclone dust collector and the post dust collector. Here is to dust. The cyclone dust collector is to collect the larger particles and the post-dust collectors to collect the smaller particles. Then is the first crusher. The material will be crushed to smaller than 10 millimeter for the first crusher by using the hammer blade. This is the first. And the first rotary screen will separate about 60% of the black powder. The screen in it is 120 mesh. Then is the second, just in the middle of it is the magnetic separator to remove the iron from the raw material, because iron is much more cheaper than the copper and the aluminium. Then is the liner vibrating screen. It have two layers. One is 100 mesh, and one layer is from 12 millimeter, so to 2 millimeter to separate the diaphragm, copper and aluminium, and the black powder. The first step is the diaphragm, and the middle is the copper and the aluminium and the black powder. Then in the bottom we can get the black mass, just the black powder. So the second crusher, when we come here, we will get 95% of the black mesh here. This is the second crusher and second rotary screen. Then the particles is under 6 millimeter. Grinder is the next step. We will have the copper and aluminium. Okay, and this is the aluminium. They are the granular sizes. Well, we get this copper and aluminium granular, well, not the dust or the larger particles. This is the size we have. Okay, and this is the grinder progress. Then we also have the added vibrating screen to separate the black powder, and the air separation, and the last step to separate the copper and the aluminium, because the gravity is different. Then the copper will settle down in the bottom, the aluminium will suspend in the surface, so we can separate by the airflow. This is the two kinds of the materials, and here are some features of our equipment. You can have a look. If you have any questions, you can contact. Here shows is the the technical standards of the recycling rate. Well, we can recycle greater than 98% of the metals, and the powders recycling rate is greater than 98 also, and also the diaphragm is 98. Then the content of the metals in the powder is smaller than 1%. Well, this is the recycling rate that we can promise. Here is two features. If you can't see it clearly, I can read for you. The first is it adopts advanced technology of crushing and separation system. After crush separately, the copper, aluminium, and powder of positive and negative plate will be separated in a separation system with high purity output. The second feature is the mean technology is to combine the crushing and separation system for battery recycling, achieve greater energy saving effects during the pure production process, and get a high separation rate of copper, aluminium, and powder for the positive and negative plate. Here is some introduction or advantages feature of the equipment. If you are interested in this kind of business, you can contact with us. Well, our sales manager will show you some brief introduction and some detailed data for you to know more information about this kind of equipment. And we can also share you some markets in different regions, some policies in different regions, because we have this kind of equipment. We have our customers more than 120 countries. You can also come to our client's factory to come to see if they have this kind of business well in good environment. So thank you for your watching today. I'm not sure is there anybody in my live show. So if you're here, you can comment or you can leave your WhatsApp number, your email in the comment place. Then our sales manager will contact you immediately. I'm not sure it's now a good time for you to contact. It's now afternoon in China. I'm not sure when it's in your country. So here is some introduction. Let's show about the 3D layout of the introduction of this equipment. Then we can have more details or know it more clearly. So here is the layout. We can show it starts from here and go through this line, come to the second step here. And the end of the device is the air separation rate, the air separation device. So if you have this kind of equipment of different lithium battery from the mobile or other kind like the hard shell, plastic shell, a soft shell lithium battery, or the power lithium battery, aluminium lithium battery, you can all contact with us. Then we can just have experiment of your separation rate and the products you can get. This is all free service. You can send your raw material to us or carry raw material to our factory. Then you can have communication to give you more information about this kind of equipment. So here are two the raw material that we can use, and the ingredient of the raw material is the positive and the negative material, and the electrolyte and the diaphragm. Then we can get it's account for 40% of the positive material in the lithium battery, and 5% of the negative battery. Then we also have 16 to 20% of the electrolyte, and 20%, maybe nearly 20% of the diaphragm. The diaphragm will separate in the here in the line of vibrating screen in this step, and the electrolyte will be vibrated in the very beginning in the combination system in this furnace. Then we can get the positive and negative material. We can get the copper and aluminium and other like the graphite, copper powder, the cobalt oxide lithium from the negative and positive material. This is the proportion of the batteries. So here is the old step. It's very clear. And you can see, or we can send this 3D layout to you privately, but we can't contact with you directly. We don't know where's your account, so you can contact with us. For example, you can just say hi to us and let us know your requirements. For example, I want this 3D layout, or I want this catalog. And when we finish this live show, we will send you the information you want, or contact with you in more comfortable, more convenient ways, like the WhatsApp or email, to give you more introduction. So here is the entire line of the process, the technical process. Then the first step, we need to put the scrap lithium battery into the concentration of 8% to 15% of the sodium chloride solution, the sodium chloride solution, to store this lithium battery for maybe 48 hours, just 2 days. And then the positive and negative terminal of the battery will be a short circuit, so this electricity in this lithium battery will be discharged completely. This is the first step. We can use this sodium chloride to discharge the electricity. Then this is the first step. We can put it into device. The pre-process is a double shaft shredder. Here is the double shaft shredder. Can you see the name and the how to show the picture? Here is the double shaft shredder. Well, this is when we use the belt conveyor to transport this scrap lithium battery to the double shaft shredder to pre-process, and it can process under 2 to 5 centimeter to get these pieces. And then we can use this carbonization system, this carbide furnace, to heat the raw material and to evaporate the electrolyte in the lithium battery. The carbonization furnace uses electricity heating or gas heating. The heating temperature in the furnace is 100 to 450 degrees. The electrolyte in the battery is completely evaporated to facilitate subsequent harmless treatment. This is the this step. And well, by the way, if you have the smaller capacity, like under 500 kilogram per hour or 1 ton kilogram per hour, then you don't need this kind of equipment. It's not necessary. But if you have a larger capacity, 1 ton or 2 ton per hour, then we can have this combustion system. Well, this is the furnace. And about the smoke we can use this 3 device, the spring tower system, the activate carbon cleaning system, and the UV photooxygen catalytic system to purify the smoke, the bad smoke that have the pollution or the harmless of the environment and human body. Then we will use this belt conveyor to transport these particles to the first step, the primary hammer crusher or first hammer crusher. This is the hammer blade crusher. Well, it's a kind of impact crusher. It will, by using this high-speed rotation of the blades in the crushing chamber, to make this material under 10 millimeter. So we can get under 10 millimeter particles in the first hammer crusher step. Then the crusher will come to the rotary screen, the first rotary screen, to collect the carbon black powder of 60%. It will rot, and there inside of it is 120 screen in it to separate the black powder. This is the first step. Then it will come to the magnetic separator. Here, it's at a belt. It's very small. At a belt conveyor is the magnetic separator. It will separate the iron from the raw material. Then it will come to the liner vibrating screen. The liner vibrating screen uses vibration for screening and controls different products through a multi-layer screen mesh, which are discharged from the separation outlet as respective outlets. The two layers of the screen are 2 mm and 100 mesh. So we use the stainless steel. There's a stainless steel wire mesh, and the top layer of the screen, it will release the diaphragm, and the middle of the layer is the copper, aluminium, and the black powder. The bottom layer is the black powder also. Then we can recover the black powder for 98%. Sorry, not collect the black powder. We can collect the diaphragm for 96%. Well, this step we collect the diaphragm. Then about the black powder we need to collect, we'll go through the ID vibrating screen and the secondary hammer crusher to collect it. So when we come to the liner vibrating screen, when we go through it, then we can come to the secondary hammer crusher. It's also an impact crusher, then to crush the raw materials under 6 mm. Then when we come to the secondary rotary screen, the black powder's recovery rate is 95 cm. Most of the black powder will recycled. Then, this is the grinder. Well, it's smaller than the first rotary screen. And this is the grinder. The grinder, we will control the sizes of the particles. This is how it's used for. It's a grinder to grind the raw materials at the granular pieces, granular sizes. Then the ID vibrating screen, it will collect most of the powder for 99%. The advantages of it have the low noises, high efficiency, and whole sealing structure. So to separate the powder, the particles, then to recycle the black powder to 99%. Then this is the last step, the air separator. Use the air gravity sorter. Use the combined action of the airflow and vibration friction on the material, and then the larger copper particles will settle down in the bottom, and the less aluminium particles will suspend on the surface, so to separate it by the air flowing. And in this link, the recovery rate of the copper and the aluminium is about 98%. Well, just if the raw material, the final products is all the metals, then we can use air separator. But if you have other kind of materials, like we can get the plastic from the PCB board, then we can use this electrostatic separator by using the separating device. So these are different kinds of separation device we can choose, we can give you. And about the dust, we need to purify. We have the post dust collector and cyclone dust collector for you to enrich to the standards of different regions. So you can just trust us about this. And if you have any questions, in the comment place here, we have our own telephone, WeChat, and WhatsApp number. And also we have the email. You can contact with us directly, or you can send your information to us. then our sales manager will give you the more detailed introduction. Here is the 3D layout. Can you see it clearly? If you can't, we can send for you privately. So you can just contact with us and have a visit to our factory. Then you can count on us about the quality. So about this configuration program of the equipment, because we have different capacity. The smaller one is 100%, 100 kilogram per hour, and the largest one is 210 per hour. Well, if you have the more larger capacity, we can design for you and for more configuration device. This is the service that we can give for you before you buy this equipment. And well, now we are in China. We are the Chinese manufacturer. If you want to know the quotation of the equipment, we can also talk with you privately, because different capacity have different configurations and have different prices. So about the quotation list in detail, we can send with you privately. So, well, today's live show will come to an end, and we'll make sure there are no questions. Then it's time to say goodbye. I'll show you this catalog again. Here's a catalog to have some brief information. Here is also the 3D layout. It's same as the picture I showed before. Sorry. Okay, and this is the equipment list. Well, we have the belt conveyor, double shaft shredder, and the first hammer crusher, waned conveyor, first rotary screen, a magnetic separator, liner vibrating screen, and the secondary hammer crusher, waned conveyor, and grinder, anti-vibrating screen, air separator, post dust collector, and the collector for the diaphragm. Here it is the spare parts list, and the change period also shows in this table. Well, the main spare parts is at the crusher, grinder, and the post dust collector. Have the blade and the screen. We will change it frequently for maybe 2 or 3 months. Well, when you buy our equipment, our engineer and manager will give you this kind of information. You don't need to worry about this. Okay, and well, this kind of data is based on operation condition, just for reference. If you work it well, the spare period can prolong. Here are some remarks. You can see delivering time is 45 to 60 days, and we can help you to installation, commissioning, and operation training. Is all the service by our engineer. We have a mature engineer team, and they are all efficiency. So the training service we can give you, so you can count on about this. Just before you have the running of the equipment, we will give you the training service, and about the installation is also served by our engineer. Well, the warranty period is 1 year, except wearing parts and the man-made damage. Here is some photo. You can have a reference. Here is the tube that will purify the gas gonna release. So, is there any questions about this kind of lithium battery? We have different kinds of other recycling equipments, like the PCB board recycling equipment, or the solar panels, or the aluminium plastic separating device. Okay, and if you are interested in a common place, we have our own WeChat and phone and the WhatsApp or the email. You can contact with us directly. And we are the Doing Holdings. We have 7 subsidiaries. Then we also have a branch company in Nigeria. If you want to have this kind of program in Africa, it's very convenient. Let's start from the very beginning. Here is the raw materials that we can get and the final products. Well, we will end this kind of live show in 3 minutes. If you have any questions, you can contact. We are the Doing Group in China. We are the Chinese manufacturer. This is the recycling. Well, about this whole program, the first step is to discharge the electricity in the lithium battery. We need to put it into the solution in 28 hours. Then we can have the first pre-process to process it to the smaller particles for 3 to 5 centimeters. Then when we will use the carbonization system to evaporate the electrolyte in the lithium battery, it will account for 20%, nearly 20%. And then it will come to the crushing area and the separation area. We have 4 steps. The first crusher, a second crusher, and have the evaporating screen and the grinder to crush and separate the powder, the copper, and the aluminium, and the diaphragm in the raw materials in different steps. So it's a mature industry of this lithium battery recycling machine. If you want to have this kind of program, just you can contact with us. And thank you for your watching today. We will have other kinds of introduction in the live show. And next week, we will give you some other information about the lithium battery and PCB board and the solar panel recycling machine or other kind of pyrolysis machine also are serviced in our company. Thank you for your watching today. If you have any questions, you can contact with us directly or leave the private message to us. Have a nice day today. Thank you for your watching today.